Lisa Martin as well. We got a great topic for you today, visiting the First Adventist Church in the metaverse. Now, you guys may or may not know what the metaverse is. I'll kind of catch you up on that real quick. If you don't, the metaverse is a virtual world. It's a virtual reality where people are actually purchasing real estate on it. And so you put I don't know if you've seen the virtual reality goggles or not, but you put these goggles on and you're able to go through this metaverse. You're able to visit movie theaters, go to see people. A lot of businesses are using it for conference calls, things of those nature. So you can be there without actually being there. And you travel through the metaverse with this thing called an avatar. And you guys might know what an avatar is because of Facebook. I've got an avatar on my Facebook, the Prophecy Montana Facebook. And it's a virtual you that you can create. You can put your own eyes on it, your own mouth, your own chin, your own hair, your own ears, and all these different things. Well, that's what you do for this metaverse. Well, this individual, his name is Pastor Reginald Richardson Jr. He has created the first Seventh-day Adventist church inside the metaverse. And I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about this and if you guys support it or are against it. Now, I know you haven't had a whole lot of time to think about this, Dave, but Paul has done a little bit of research and you've come up with some things. And what you got there, Paul?
Well, it's as usual. I'm getting ready to do the lesson study, and I get my wife working on your prophecy things, and she looks at what she can find up on the internet. And it's interesting. I kind of just went to bed right after I got this, and then I said, well, I'll try to read it when I get up in the morning, and you know how that goes. But there's a couple of things. General Conference approves diabolical metaverse, hackable animals. It's by Sarah Vero Realty or whatever it is there. Anyway, I'm going to read just some of the things that they said. Humans are now hackable animals. The whole idea. Okay, sorry about that. The whole idea that humans have this soul or spirit and nobody knows what's happening inside them, and they have free will. That's over, whatever that means. This is the other one that I wanted to read. This is by a quote from Bishop J. Strickland, an actual bishop. This is truly diabolical, literally of the devil. The arrogance is devastating and will only lead to dictators who use their free will to dominate others. We are created in God's image and likeness. We are not hackable animals. Now, I admit right off the top that I haven't really read a lot in this, but from what my wife has looked at, it's scary what they can do with it, I guess, and it's really not a good thing to get involved with. Now, I can't say for sure whether that's true or not. Here's another quote, social media metaverse. Because if you think about the way it works, the metaverse's ultimate aim is not just virtual reality or augmented reality, it's mixed reality. It's blending the digital and the real world together. Ultimately, this blend may be so good and so pervasive that the virtual and the real become indistinguishable.
Well, and to your point, I think this is actually happening with video games, where we have an inordinate high amount of school shooters, the people that go out and commit these mass murderings, and even, in the absence of firearms, are using their vehicles to run people over in parades and these type of things. And they've seemed to blur the reality from the, from the virtual in their minds. And so with the metaverse, this is even more of a danger. I've put the Oculus glasses on. I wasn't in the metaverse, but you can play video games in virtual reality, and I wasn't playing a video game, but no, actually I was at Clancy's,
Garrett's.
Well, Clancy's too. Clancy had the video game and I was playing it at his place, but then Garrett, he had this deal where you could get on a roller coaster in virtual reality. And I mean, you feel the butterflies and everything. Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing. And you'll even fall down if you're not sitting down because you get this, you feel the G-force and everything. Yeah. I mean, your brain compensates for this
It's like a flight
stuff.
simulator.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on steroids. Yeah, big time. And so, but yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
that's a good comparison that you're making there.
Mm-hmm.
But this church inside the metaverse. Now we know there's people going to be in the metaverse, and there's going to be more and more people all the time in the metaverse. These people are lost.
Yeah.
So it's having a church in this place of evil.
I am actually for it
Okay.
because the church is a good thing. No matter where it's at, it's God's word.
Okay.
And these kids are living in this fantasy, and young adults are living in this fantasy world, and they're buying into this. They live online. They have no life outside their house, and they are getting into this. And I find that if God had is in that metaverse, in that church. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that, and they're against this all the way. But we're hacked here with our identity, as it is with like credit card. I was hacked on Facebook, of all places, and I think the identity thing. You're gonna, because you guys said you can get hacked into this or
Well, I think
hacked.
they're talking about hacking your actual brain.
Oh,
Getting
hacking your
inside
brain.
your head, yeah, and
Oh, I
putting
see.
things in your head that you don't necessarily approve of.
Oh, I see. I see.
And
Subliminal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In that light, let me read this another quote off the internet, actually. Many current MR prototype systems have face, eye, body, and hand tracking technology. Most have sophisticated cameras. Some even incorporate electroencephalogram technology in order to pick up brainwave patterns. In other words, everything you say, manipulate, look at, or even think about can be monitored in MR. The data this will generate will be vast and extremely valuable. And then, quote, and the market for that is gigantic. Whoever controls it will basically have control over your entire reality.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, then
Yeah.
that's dangerous.
There is a huge danger in these things, and you put them on your head. And I know I was having trouble with my equilibrium for like a week after I wore these goggles for just a few minutes. I was really I was dizzy, and I was like experiencing what do you call
Vertigo?
it? Vertigo. Thank you. For about a week. So I mean, you have to be very careful. It does mess with your psyche.
I liked it. He put me in.
No, I liked it too.
He put me in the ocean with all these great whites circling me. I loved it. and then I went to a tropical island where I heard the ocean. I mean, I really liked it.
But is that a substitute then for living
vacation.
life?
Well, that's what they're trying to make it into,
Yeah,
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is this another
It's an
giant
escape.
satanic distraction?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
is a
It's to
distraction.
keep
Yes.
you occupied.
Yeah. Back in 1972, 73, I was an orderly at Loma Linda University Medical Center up on the 9200, which is oncology, cancer ward. And they come there to die. I mean, the more advanced cases. I mean, they treat the other ones, of course, in doctors' offices and at outpatient. But these are the ones who make it, back to the hospital. And at that time, they were starting what do you want to call it? What you're talking about. There would be a therapy section of the hospital that would bring in these goggles, and you'd stick on these goggles and they'd play a picture of a guy skiing down a hill.
Yeah.
And they would use that to make them feel like they're still alive. Because they're dying. But that gets their mind off of what's actually happening to them to a certain point where they called it therapy.
But is that a
wow.
good thing?
Good question.
Well-
Because they can hack into your head, like
wow.
you're saying. What did they do to you?
Yeah.
Vertigo.
Yeah. Vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah. For how long?
Yeah, well, and that's a good object lesson. So they're putting now I'm going to say it slowly. You guys will catch it right away. They're putting these goggles on your head while you're dying to distract you
Wow.
and to ease your last moments.
How many
Aren't we all-
people are saved or lost based on their final thoughts?
Well,
Wow.
and what about us? Aren't we all just dying? And now the devil's trying everything he can to distract us. But you know, with every bad thing, listen, the internet, when it came out, many people thought, well, this is it. This is the devil. It was the devil, wasn't it? I mean, now it put pornography at the hands of every man's fingertips. The very thing that 99.9% of men struggle with, now it's at the tip of their fingertips. All they got to do is push a few buttons, and there it is.
Did you hear that 70% of the people that are signed on the internet are looking at pornography?
Yeah, huge industry.
I did
One of
not
the
know
biggest
that.
industries ever. And so now it's even harder for men, you know, to get away from this, because before what you had to go and embarrass yourself to buy a magazine or something, or you had a what stag film that maybe one of your friends had or something. But now you have this device that's right at your fingertips 24 hours a day. And so the struggle now is just so much greater. So, but as you can see, we're using the internet, you know, to upload live programs like we're doing now, to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ.
For every good thing, Satan has created something quite opposite.
Counterfeit.
Yeah,
A counterfeit.
A counterfeit.
Exactly. And I think that applies here too.
Yeah.
I think maybe there are some good aspects to it. And this gospel shall be preached in all the world, and then the end shall come. Maybe that's one way of doing it, but there is also a downside to it.
Now what I suggest, a healthy person go and put a pair of Oculuses on and go into the metaverse to go to church? No way. I would never suggest that. In fact, I would discourage it. But how about somebody who's wrapped up in that world, who's immersed in it, and that's their whole life, and they happen to run across this church as they're walking down one of the streets in the metaverse, and they hear some hymns being singing, they hear a sermon being given, and it catches their attention, and they walk inside of this church in virtual reality, and they get the gospel preached to them.
That's
Is
what
that
I'm
possible?
Could
thinking.
it be a good thing? You bet it
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And so we have to reach out to the lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so low tech, it's frightening to most people. I go to work and I sit in front of a
frighten me.
computer and
I'm scared.
I make this program do double back flips. I mean, I'm good at what I do with the computer, but when I get off the thing, I'm done. I want nothing to do. Don't put these goggles on. I don't tune in when I get home to this high tech stuff.
Remember,
It's just not who I am, I guess.
most of the stuff that comes off of the internet is one-way information.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not interacting with it.
Yes.
You know, it's feeding into your head
Yes.
whatever they want you to know, and they are tricky with that.
Just don't want to go to a bank in virtual reality.
Well, and it's funny because I was reading an article before this article that people were getting raped on the metaverse. So they had to have these, no, I mean, I don't know how, trust me, but these things are happening already, and crime's already taken place on the metaverse. And so
boy.
now you have to buy these, I don't know if you buy them, I don't know what, but some security, like an antivirus program that you'd have for your computer. Who would have thought that we would have okay, let's rewind the tape 50 years, that not only would we have home computers that could virtually reach the whole world, but you'd also have these viruses that could get onto your computer and destroy everything and hack into your bank accounts and everything else. Try to explain that to someone just 50 years. I mean, we even explained it to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known anything about this.
And we were just called old last weekend by those young guys.
Yeah, the young guys came in. We were all old timers.
Well, he called me and Carrie old, and I was thinking to myself, I did grow up without a cell phone, and we didn't have any of this stuff, and I mean, we had a wall phone or one of those great big antique heavy ones with all the dial on it, but I mean, things have went so
far, so
fast.
fast. Yeah.
In
So
our
far, so fast.
life.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you look at we used to go to the Sequoia
Knowledge shall
Dawn,
be increased.
and
that's right.
the older people were talking about Indians that they met them,
Yeah.
and things like that. So and then they were on trains, And now look at, we got fast cars, we have airplanes, we have all
Driving
this stuff.
themselves.
All these different
And
things.
cells and
Yeah, so-
metaverses and
It's likely we'll probably not solve this issue here, but this is a good topic, and we'll have a part 2. What do you guys think? Do you guys
Yeah.
agree, disagree? Put your comments in the section below. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys on the next Prophecy Update. Thanks for watching. And thanks, guys.